Stephen Beck and the Rabbi from Another Planet. Please like, share, and subscribe. And ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you are notified when new videos drop. And once again, you're finding me with all the joys of spring. Actually, I don't know if I'm going to say once again, because I record videos ahead of time now. I have about 2-3 day buffer zone, around that, right? And so for the last couple of days, the weather's been gorgeous. The blossom's been on all the trees. It's it went from freaking freezing, absolutely freezing, and ice storms to this morning. I walked outside walked outside my house. What's that thing? That box thing that we live in? My house, right? Walked out myself to go to synagogue, and it was like a summer's morning. It was. I could smell the flowers and the blossom. I was really quite happy. Blue skies. So it's all very, but making it even better, making it even more that spring is in the air. I'm recording this on Friday, which is, I'm putting this at the same day I'm recording it, I hope, as long as the internet lets me upload it. I finished my stream last night, and my wife tells me, my youngest son is home. And he's out. I think he's out with his friends. My wife tells me, he came and told me today. He was very nervous that he's been dating someone, right? So this is a big deal in the Jewy world, because we don't normally, me and my wife, we didn't touch each other at all before we got married. We did the real super. It's called super frummy religious dating, where we literally did it. The first time we touched each other when we held hands after we got married, walking to you have a little room you go to, But so they're not so crazy in the world in the kind of Jewy world we live in, but they hold hands and stuff like that. Anyway. He's been dating a girl for the last few weeks, which is really sweet. He's so sweet. I'm just telling you, this kid is the sweetest kid in the whole world. I'm just really happy for him, right? I'm really happy to have those those formative experiences. So I'm in a very good mood today. I'm in a very good mood. I'm sure the rumors will go through will bring me down. Okay, so you'll see my spirit crushed alongside yours. Crush your spirit with the rabbi. That's what we should call this video. Not really. Anyway, fine, before we get into it, like, share, subscribe, comment, sign up to my Substack. I actually put out stuff for my my paid Substack yesterday. I'm feeling very pleased with myself, right? I'm feeling very happy. I actually finally did it. I'm putting out today there's going to be a full comic book. There's a thing I've been serializing called Red Ghost. So the first issue is going out as a full comic book to people on the free Substack. Substack is my email newsletter. I was a bit tardy with it free, but now I'm getting back, baby. I'm getting back, and I'm really into doing digital art. I will not be selling them as NFTs. Oh my god, I floated that on a live stream on Tuesday, right? I heard people were making money out of NFT, doing art with NFTs, so I started looking into it. I had no idea it was dodgy beyond dodgy beyond. No, not dodgy. The people selling them are dodgy beyond dodgy, and they're all dodgy, right? They're all really dodgy. But I like the idea of digital art. I think that's really interesting. So I will be doing more of that for both the paid and the free Substack. So go ahead, sign up, and of course, you're going to be updated on all the comings and goings. All the content I put out, and boy, do I put out a lot. Do I put out a lot? I tell you, that's good. Good if you're a YouTuber or a girl you're dating. I tell you, this girl he's dating, not bad looking. I'm quite impressed. Too good for him. It was my first thought. Fine. Comment. Did I say comment? Comment as well. Hit the rumble button. You know all the stuff. Fine. Let's look at this first story. Again, no idea of the veracity of it. That's why this is Rumor Patrol. I'm not even sure we're going to call this News and Rumor Patrol. I think it's just going to be Rumor Patrol, right? So this first story, if it's true, yes. And why wouldn't it be true? I really want it to be true. So this was on Doctor Who page, who do not have a good track record. Right? Let's be clear. They do not have a good track record with their rumours whatsoever. The TARDIS Zone, Noel at the TARDIS Zone has a good track record. His rumours are at least 80% accurate. I will go even for 90, right? So the Who page, not really. It's also a little bit reactionary because they were kind of very, very pro the current era of Doctor Who. And now, like most people pro things that they were sure they'll write about, they have egg all over their bloody face, don't they? That's basically, I said 6 months ago, the theme of this year is narrative hitting reality. Boy, have I been proved right there. Have I? So this is one of the people whose narrative hit reality. But let's see what they have to say. Murray Gold is set to return for composer for the 60th anniversary of Doctor Who. I can see that. I mean, like, for the people saying, oh, Murray for the 60th. Well, he seems like he's getting the band back together, doesn't he? He does seem like that way. It has been revealed. Well, what's the source? Like, by whom? Where? What? It's been revealed that Murray is involved in the celebrations, but it's unknown whether he'll be staying on for the Series 14 and beyond. So I got a feeling for the later seasons, he kind of handed off to his assistant, didn't it? I can't remember. He was kind of just overseeing it. Regarding the 6th anniversary celebrations are said to be coming over the next few weeks. I doubt it. I doubt that. Right? I don't think Rusty Davies wants to say anything at all while the current era of Doctor Who is running, because I think he absolutely despises it, much like the rest of us. And I know, on public he said, he was very positive about it before. Then, like everybody who's been positive about this era, Colin Baker, Christopher Eccleston, everybody who's been positive haven't actually seen it. I would just love any of them to sit down and watch it, especially Christopher Eccleston, somebody who cares so much about acting and the turgid job. I mean, really, ridiculously awful job that Jodie Whittaker's done. I think matching Chris Chibnall. Quite wondering who did a worse job, Whittaker or Chibnall. It's hard to say, right? That's hard to say. I think there's just enough awful to go around for all of them, don't you? Yeah, I think that's fair. So let's follow this one. Who the hell knows? Who the hell knows? I very much hope it's true, right? I very much hope it's true. But next thing is this thing. Now, do I hope this is true? Listen, I like the idea that the Doctor is being paid by a male, even though I still think a woman can play the Doctor, but I think I'm a bit of an old hippie in that. I might well be wrong. I do think the Doctor is a masculine role. Speaking of which, oh my God, I looked at the trailers for the new Star Trek, Strange New World, again on my live stream last night, and they're bringing Lieutenant Uhura into it. Okay. One of the most spankable women in Phantom genre. I mean, really, I've been giving many accolades. So she's so beautiful, and she is. She's one of the most spankable women in genre. And yes, okay. If you're offended by that, I'm sorry. It's the way it is. She's very, 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 very hot, especially the original series. So. Now they got being played by a troglodyte without a neck. It's the weirdest thing. It's like, my haircut is pretty much similar to her. So it kind of looks like, hello, I'm Lieutenant Uhura. Like, what the hell? What? Yeah. Like, okay. They made up. They had a character in Discovery that looks like that. Adira, the one, the stunning and brave LGBTQ plus family. Also, no neck and shaved head. Really, I don't know. So I saw pictures of this actress who looks normal, right? She looks like before she shaved her head. It looks normal, right? Didn't look like her. Didn't look like a beauty. Didn't look like it's only a model, right? Which is her is supposed to look like a model. I mean, so Saldanha. That's probably why she was good cast. She was also a good actress. Doesn't turn me on, though. And I feel kind of gypped about that, because everybody's turned on by both Karen Gillan and Zoe Saldana. Doesn't do it for me, Doesn't do it for me, I'm afraid. I'm a man of specific taste. Actually, not that specific. Just not that. So, I don't know how we got into it. So, yes, I think the character is a male character, as apparently is Lieutenant Uhura now. Okay, but not quite that way. Okay, I think his character's a masculine character. Having said that, the damage that's been done by Whittaker and Chibnall is epic. I mean, they are. Whittaker and Chibnall, they could be called the Joe Biden of Doctor Who producers, really. And it's like, didn't take that long for that joke to become real, did it? Yeah, so I think you need to reset it in the public's mind again. It's going to be probably going to be a while before there could possibly be a woman doctor. Probably never, right? I think the pendulum is massively about to swing, right? I think the pendulum is massively about to swing. I think the end of days, beginning of days is here as an aside, but I think the pendulum in general is massively about to swing, and I don't think it's ever swinging back. I mean, we're at the brink of nuclear war. I mean, we're at the brink of nuclear war and famine, and famine is definitely coming. I don't want to tell you. I think the pendulum is going to swing, and it's never swinging back, and we're not going to have any more of this fluidity, right? Fluidity. Of course, Google, for the Google overlords, I have to very, very studiously say that, of course, having a penis is no obstacle to being a woman. Of course! That would be crazy! Having a vagina, no obstacle being a man. Men have babies and also menstruate. Okay? Google, I've said everything you needed me to say. I think we're good, right? And I think I said it with relative conviction too. So great! So I think, I've earned my not being having my channel taken away. Doctor Who, Ruben Next Doctor deletes Instagram story at Bad Wolf Studios. So this is the other big story going around. The reason why this and the Hugh Grant story was so huge, because nobody knows what on earth Russell T Davies is going to do, right? Nobody has any bloody idea what's going to go down. So this is Fadi El Sayed, who played, I don't know, a character in Class. Class I really didn't like. I liked the first episode because it had the Doctor in it, but I was wondering, why are all these school kids in their 30s? It seemed a bit weird to me, right? It seemed a bit weird to me. But okay. But yeah, I like a bit of Capaldi. Any more Capaldi, I will always take more Capaldi. But so he was in Class. He seems very housing estate, right? Which for me, the Doctor needs to be a little bit posh, right? He needs to come from an upper class background. And I just think that's the default of it. When they brought in Eccleston in 2005, they were very scared of going for the that very traditional Doctor Who route. I mean, I remember Russell T Davies spoke at an interview, I think around 2005, it might have been a lot earlier, talking about the McGann revival, the McGann story, which did very, very, very well in England. But he was working, it was on Why Don't You or something in the industry at the time. So he asked his boss, what do you think of it? He said, yeah, the costume was a bit fancy dress, right? It took you out of it. It wasn't relatable, which is where I think we probably that's the seed that we got Eccleston from, which is a very anti-posh Doctor, right? I think he was a big reaction to it. But as soon as we got Tennant, boom, it snaps back to being posh, right? Basically posh. A Tennant is like a public school boy who gave it all away, who ran away from it to be travel time and space. That's the vibe I got from Matt Smith, obviously very, very posh. So that, I think, is the DNA of the character, much like Meddling Monk, right? Meddling Monk, they got a big thing in Doctor Who magazine interviewing meddling monks, Graham Garden, Rufus Hound, and the turgid Jenna Whelan. Now, why do I say turgid? Because everybody who's played the meddling monk, Peter Buttlesworth, Graham Garden, Rufus Hound, comedians, have comedic timing, have a comedic sensibility, because it's a comedic character. It's a dramatic character, but also a comedic character. A comedian really does well. Bill Murray playing Polonius in the Ethan Hawke Hamlet, which is brilliant, right? I really recommend it. It's from the 90s. It's not the full play. It's like 2 hours long, but it's brilliant. Bill Murray playing Polonius. Polonius is basically a bit of a comic character, and that's why he's fucking perfect in it. You need somebody with a comedy sensibility to be able to do it. I just don't think Gemma Whelan is that. I think Gemma Whelan is an actress. I've only ever seen her in Game of Thrones, right? So she doesn't work. She's the noisy nun. She's the annoying noisy nun. And they keep telling her how proud they are of her. I'm sure it can't be doing very well. I mean, because she's so bloody annoying. I didn't buy the last Missy box set. Why? Because I don't want to hear the noisy nun, right? I do not want to hear anything from the noisy nun. She's not, because it's so 2020s, right? It's so 20. Let's do a gender swap, and we don't really care about how well we do it, which is really surprising, Big Finish, because they're normally quite good at this stuff. Anyway, so Fadi El Sayed, is he going to be the next Doctor? He's rumoured to be cast as the new Doctor on Doctor, reportedly deleting an Instagram post earlier today showing him at Badwell Studios. So there he is. He's that's the Instagram post. He's at Badwell Studios, and he put a thing saying, new things, with a little foxy face. Ooh, being sneaky. I guess that's what foxy facey means. And then he deleted it. So... he could be doing lots of things, right? He could be the Doctor, and he really, really could be. He could be a recurring character. He could be a companion. He could be a villain. He could be a recurring villain. They could be doing lots of Doctors. He could be a Doctor along with Hugh Grant. We don't bloody know anything. We don't know anything. I'm going to rate this as possible, but I find it less likely than Hugh Grant, the Hugh Grant story, before Hugh Grant denied it, right? Now I find it more likely than Hugh Grant, the story, after Hugh Grant denied it, right? Yeah, it could be, right? He could be there for something completely different. I mean, Badwell produces quite a few things, it's a bit tenuous, but could be, right? It's not crazy. Could be. Talking a bit tenuous. Stories that could be. We have Doctor Who, 8 stories that never dies. This is by Mark Donaldson, who, with one of his articles, we might actually... we won't get to it today. One of his articles, he didn't name check me, but he talked about one of my videos, right? He talked about... a couple of, was it last year when all the BLM riots were going on? Peaceful protests, mostly peaceful protests. Much like the Russian invasion of Ukraine is mostly peaceful. No, it's not. But okay, complete aside. Have you been reading the exit interviews from people like combat veterans, like foreign combat veterans from like England and America, Australia, that went to Ukraine to fight as like the Foreign Legion or whatever it's called? Boy, that's scary, right? Because all war that's been done with the Western world has waged over the last 70 years has been asymmetrical. They've basically been fighting, pig farmers with Kalashnikovs. That's essentially it. Now, pig farmers with Kalashnikovs can be a bit dangerous, right? Especially if you destabilize a massive military force like Iraq and allow the pig farmers with Kalashnikovs to take all your very, very expensive weapons. That could work out badly, right? That could work. But it's basically been an asymmetrical asymmetrical warfare. We have a very well-trained, well-equipped, very advanced army against pig farmers with Kalashnikovs. This is the first time we've had a professional modern army against a professional modern army, and you could die any second, right? They could just there could be a drone strike, there could be a barrage, they could drop a mine on you, sensing your body heat, and it's just the luck. It's math. It's luck of the draw. You might die, you might not. So these exit interviews, I think I saw one on Vice. Really scary. And these are combat veterans. These are people who've been in combat in Iraq, I think. But yeah, really, really, really scary. So yeah, say eight Doctor Who 8 news stories in those days. So Black Lives Matter, BLM riots. During that, I said, well, how on earth can Chris Chibnall keep the word police, police box up there on the TARDIS? Police are bad, right? Everybody said, was it? It was something terrible, right? I can't remember, but it's like just this terrible rhetoric against the police, and it seems like Chris Chibnall goes along with any terrible rhetoric that's coming out of that sector of the world. So I'm like saying, well, maybe he's going to get rid of the TARDIS, right? So he reported it as one of the crazy rumours. That wasn't a rumour, that was speculation, dingaling. But so Mark Donaldson, he's one of the people with egg all over his face, right? Again, reality hitting narrative. That's where we are. Reality hitting that narrative. So let's look at these 8 news stories that will never die, that he really wishes they would, right? And he wishes they would because everything about these news stories show what incredible failure the Jodie Whittaker Doctor Who has been, which is really his big problem with it. With Hugh Grant as the next Doctor back in the news yet again. It is? I thought that went away. Okay. It's a good time to look back at some other recurring Doctor Who stories. So what's he doing right now? He's pouring cold water on the idea of Hugh Grant. Why? Now, again, Hugh Grant probably isn't the Doctor, isn't going to be the Doctor, because he said, it's not me. He might be lying. Hopefully he's lying. But the reason it'll be terrible for this guy, Donaldson, if Hugh Grant is because he will be incredibly popular. Hugh Grant with the Russell T Davies script, he will be incredibly popular, and he'll make... again, it's like comparing Trump to Biden. What do you want me to tell you? There's going to be a lot of egg over a lot of face. So they're terrified. They were terrified by the Hugh Grant rumor because they can't really argue against it because Russell T Davies is such a proponent of the LGBTQ plus thing, which is why I think he's very outspoken LGBTQ plus AI, whatever, because... that way he can cast a Hugh Grant and it'll be like, what are you talking about? Hugh Grant, oh, he's a lovely actor. And he's just positive. He's in control. So he hated the Hugh Grant rumor, right? It drove him crazy. As we can see here, if you report that Hugh Grant is the next Doctor enough times, then eventually you'll be correct. No. Just people are very excited because Doctor Who's been garbage. And Hugh Grant sounds like it'll be good again, right? That's what it is. And again, the reason you don't want to deal with that is because you have to deal with the first part of the story. Doctor Who has been garbage, right? Even a stop clock is right twice a day and all that. Well, again, Doctor Who has long been a way to guarantee clicks and sell newspapers. Again, this is all going, no! This is entirety what it is. With some units trying the horrific events tying the horrific events in Ukraine back to the show by focusing on a fan who had to leave their collection behind in Kiev. Well, that's kind of I'll be interested in that story, man. I feel bad for that guy. I see why they're reporting that. I want to read that. That sounds interesting. Unlike anything Jodie Whittaker ever did. I mean, interesting? Yeah, no, it's not interesting. It's appalling. It's different. Not interesting, but appalling. Certain news stories have dogged the show for years and will likely continue to do so for the next 6 decades. 50 years from now, the rumours of Chris Marshall will be playing the next Doctor. Doctor Who will be beamed directly into your brain via an inbuilt chip. Now, I want to draw your attention to what they're doing. What he's doing right here, to a much lesser degree and a much more ineffectual degree, is what happened when I'm sorry to keep bringing politics into it, but it's just a great example. When the Hunter Biden laptop. So Hunter Biden, the president's son, had a laptop full of kiddie porn, him smoking crack. I'm not making this up, right? Him smoking crack, him sleeping with hookers, but the worst thing is him doing all these dodgy deals with Russian oligarchs and Chinese and Brazil, and cutting his father into everything. So literally, it's not good news. It's almost certainly going to bring down this presidency. Why do I say that? Because the cat's out of the bag. I think the Democratic Party, who has supported him, have turned on him and need to get rid of him ASAP. And I think this is a vehicle with which they're doing. Now, why do I think that? Because just like this article, you had all these high-level intelligence officials go on TV right before the election and say, oh, no, this laptop is Russian disinformation. It's not real. You cannot. And there was a collusion between the intelligence agents, CIA, FBI, NSA, the Democratic Party, media, CNN, MSNBC, ABC, Disney, Google, Twitter, and Facebook. I mean, does that sound like a crazy paranoid thing to say? Yes, it does. But there was a conspiracy to do exactly what this bloody article is doing right now, right? Because they don't want it to be true. What are these reappearing stories? When, if ever, have they been true? And more importantly, how much of these stories are simply made up for the heck of it? These are all fair stories. Danny Dyer is the Doctor, number 8. So this one I think is because Danny Dyer announced he's leaving EastEnders at the same time that Rusty Davies was announced going back to Doctor Who. I think it's just that. I mean, when we heard this, when Jodie Whittaker finally announced she was leaving, what's her name? She was in, I'm thinking Prime Suspect, but that's the wrong thing. Thinking Call of Duty. No, Line of Duty. I said Duty. Line of Duty last season, and then she was in Boardwalk Empire. Now I'm thinking Frances McDormand, but she's not that person either. Okay, but anyway, but because she was on TV at the time, and they said, "Oh, she's rumored to replace Jodie Whittaker." No, I think that's all that was. When it was out, the Peter Capaldi will be stepping down from the role of Doc. This is Peter Capaldi. Peter Capaldi. I only heard it this time around. Okay. Rumours began circulating as to who would be the next incarnation ahead of the announcement of Jodie Whittaker at Wimbledon. By the way, I have to tell you though, a lot of the time, this guy's factual reporting is almost always accurate. Like, he did a great article about the Dark Dimension, the aborted 30th anniversary story. We're going to circulate maybe next before Whittaker was announced at Wimbledon. Oh, what a black day that was for fandom. If only we knew. One of those names was actor, podcaster, game show host, proper royalty, Danny Dyer. I didn't know he was a podcaster. At the time, Dyer was quoted in the Daily Star as saying, I could see myself in a scarf and all that. I'll keep my accent too. I don't think you got much of a choice, mate, right? I think that accent is just like stuck onto you. Now that Whittaker is leaving the TARDIS and rumours of Dyer's casting began circulating in light of his upcoming departure from the popular soap opera EastEnders, it was idle speculation, and while Dyer has a lot of talent, he's really not Doctor material. Well, again, we really don't know what is he Doctor. He's no less Doctor material than Fadi El Sayed, right? He seems slightly more Doctor material than that, right? Which is, but I think we're going for something where it's out of the box, like Chris Eccleston, completely out of the box. He would definitely be. He should definitely be in the show at some point. Perhaps as the son of the Doctor's roguish mercenary acquaintance Sablon Glitz. Yes! Oh, yes! That would be awesome! Oh, yes! Danny Dyer as Sablon Glitz. I am so up for that. More of that, please. And then hook him up with Bonnie Langford. It writes itself. It writes itself. As the press speculate about Marvel-style takeover of the show, one story I haven't really even read and commented on was Stephen Moffat talking about how Marvel is like Doctor Who, not Doctor Who like Marvel. Because there's not really much to say about it, I guess. Also take on the show, what better project for Danny Dyer, Doctor Who spin-off about an intergalactic Darkran diver, son of Glitz, coming to BBC One in 2024. You heard it here first. Okay, Mark, mate, we're as one mind on this one. We are as one mind on this one. Okay, so now I'm going to change my my take on Mr. Donaldson is he's a real proper genuine Doctor Who fan. Again, the article we wrote on Dark Dimension was really very, very good. However, he's also very much of the 2020s, right? He's very much of the craziness that is of today. And so, you know, he thinks this these really terrible things that people are doing is a good thing. So yeah, and Jodie Whittaker was played as part of the Twitterati. He's probably part of the Twitterati. I see it being somewhat conflicted. Hopefully, Russell E. Davies will cure him of this affliction. Number 7, hot property actor mooted for the next Doctor. Well, they need to do something, mate. Right? They need to do something because it's been. Oh, what's this? This big ad just came up over what I was about to read. How do I get rid of this? Okay, I don't care. Fine, we'll just read round it. Another name being thrown around at the time of Capaldi's departure was Phoebe Waller-Bridge. Phoebe Waller-Bridge, by the way, if you want to do a female meddling monk, she has comedy, right? She could do it. I don't want her to. And do you think they're completely reshooting and redoing that Indiana Jones movie? Apparently, it was a time travel plot. Old Indiana Jones gets killed. young you get old Indiana Jones and young Indiana Jones, and they go back in time with Stonehenge, and young Indiana Jones gets killed, and before old Indiana Jones fades away out of reality, he says, you must save Phoebe Waller-Bridge, you must do all the things that Indiana Jones does, and she literally becomes Indiana Jones, right? So it's a stunning and brave woman. Do you think they're still going to do that? Listen, I think that last Bond movie almost certainly had ended with a gun barrel sequence with, was it Loretta Lynch, the new 007, until they smelt the way the wind was blowing. Things were going okay until the BLM riots, right? The tide was turning. Never mind. Anyway, fresh off her gargantuan success of Fleabag, some rumours even suggested that she had been offered the part prior to Whittaker and turned it down. Well, it could be. Olivia Colman did that. Since then, she's gone on to star in a Han Solo movie, a really bad movie, okay? Really, that didn't do any good for her, and she was really bad in it. Do script polishes on the last James Bond film? Yeah, exactly. And return to West End for a sellout revival of a stage show version of Fleabag. Well, listen, look, you should, her career took off. Yeah, go for it, baby. Yeah, I take the opportunities they have for you. Waller-Bridge is a great example of the inherent ridiculousness in suggesting the latest hot property is being offered the part of Doctor Who. Michaela Cole, Alexander, and Waller-Bridge successors in this regard. Okay, that's fair. At the time where the actor-creator is an increasingly attractive prospect for commissioners, why would they tie themselves down to take up the most of their waking hours? Well, again, with the Hugh Grant rumour, we don't know that was the case, do we? Right? The Hugh Grant rumour, he could have been a one-off Doctor. We don't know what Rusty Davies is going to do. Doctor has generally been a star-making performance like it was for David Tennant and Matt Smith and Tom Baker, quite frankly. Tom Baker had his career was really coming together nicely. He had a few film roles, but he was working, on a building site when he got the job, wasn't he? Quite famously. And it made him into a star, right? Absolutely did make him into a star. Or fulfillment of a childhood dream for both Tennant and Peter Capaldi, but never let logic get in the way of a good Doctor Who news. Again, this is against the Hugh Grant rumour story. By this stage, any actor who grabs the attention of the public can guarantee they'll be linked to the role of the Doctor in no time. Practically an initiation right. I think you're probably right there. I think that is probably the case. Okay, that was that. That was number 7. Let's see what we are with number 6. Number six. Doctor acted to leave moments after arriving. Well, again, we don't know what Rusty Davies is planning, right? We really genuinely don't. Look, let's read what he has to say about it. Much of the initial reboot wasn't a reboot, mate. Revival. Listen, you're losing your credibility, your fan cred right now. Revival of the 2005 continues to set the tone for Doctor Who on television. Also cast shadow on how the press reported. Famously, the news of Chris Eccleston's departure from the role was leaked to the press 2 days after his triumphant debut. I think it was leaked by the BBC, because the BBC were in a little bit of hot water at the time, weren't they, as I recall? As the BBC often is, right? Because something about the charter and lying and not something about that. I can't remember, but I thought it was the BBC that leaked it. 2 days after, since then it became almost traditional for when you're leaving to be asked the very first question of the actor taking on the role. No, that's not true. It's because Jodie Whittaker is constantly asked that because people wanted to leave because she's not very good, right? That's what's really gone. Peter Capaldi's first series was rumoured to be his only. I remember. I think they were trying to do something different, right? I thank God it wasn't. I think his third series is by far the best. While rumours of Jodie Whittaker's departure dogged the whole of the Chibnall era, because she was garbage and people wanted her to leave, right? Including the bizarre moment where two were rumoured to have stormed off the set in a dispute about involvement of Rose Tyler in Fugitives of Jadu. No! That wasn't the rumour. Excuse me. Again, this is a TARDIS Zone rumour, and one I happen to believe. It was that they... somebody at the BBC got wind of what was going on with the Timeless Children and said, oh my God, this is going to be an absolute disaster, right? Somebody actually watched the Doctor Who that they've been making, because nobody watched it for season 11, because it's so bad. It's so, when I say bad, it's not, that was a, like a technical evaluation of it. It's just bad. It does plot holes. It doesn't work. It doesn't make sense. There's a lot of it is just very, very low quality. So somebody actually looked at it and they saw what they were going to do with the Timeless Children and they said no, right? And there was a big wobbly for a few days where Christian says we're doing this or we're not, or I'm leaving, and they walked off. And apparently, Pete McTeague was rumored to step in and take over for a couple of days. But eventually they acquiesced to Chibnall because they didn't have any choice, apparently. What happened is what happened, right? I find it believable. I'm sorry. So that's not the rumor as I heard it, right? It was dismissed as total nonsense. Yeah, because the Timeless Child worked out so well for you, didn't it? I mean, for me, it was Orphan 55, but Timeless Child was kind of like a Game of Thrones moment where they destroy Game of Thrones. It was a moment where the normies got how I think the normies already had worked out how bad this was. It was the majority of the fan audience turned away with the Timeless Children, right? There's always an agenda. The current era has awakened something very unpleasant in fandom. Yeah, that's what you bought with them. That's the current era bought a very unpleasant fandom with them. Actually, if you recall, don't you remember? We all used to be able to disagree, and all of a sudden, these weird purple-haired, rainbow-striped weirdos started calling everybody bigots, right? If they didn't happen to think that a stunning and brave penis could be female, right? And again, Google, of course penises are female. Of course they can be. I think most of them are. Obviously. And I'm just following the science. Oh, they love the science. But it's always been there. No, you weirdos, these toxic weirdos have never been here before. And I've been around fandom for about 50 years. It's never been here before. Rumours around the Doctor's department are usually couched with the language of the incumbent being less than their predecessor. In every way, every metric, Whittaker is less than her predecessors. Yes. Way back in 2010, there were rumours of the discussion of the high-ups of the BBC getting rid of Matt Smith. No, it was the high-ups of the BBC didn't think the series could continue without David Tennant, right? Because they didn't understand it. The fact that there was evidence by the fact they didn't run it for 20 bloody years or 15 years. Oh, it was like, about 15 years. Again, total nonsense. But those weren't ready to move on to David Tennant. It's an effective way to sell papers. No, again, mate. Look, you're having an existential breakdown because Jodie Whittaker has been useless, right? You're having an existential breakdown because she's been so incredibly bad in the role. Classic Doctors are back. I find it unlikely. I mean, listen, we got Tom Baker back in the 50th. And I thought this thing was hilarious. The Five-ish Doctors reboot, whatever. I thought it was really, really funny. I thought it was really good. It seems unlikely. We had Peter Davison came back with Tennant for Time Crash. It just seems a little bit. Now, what I would love to see, and we may get this is wild speculation, which wouldn't love it to be true, that Sony and Bad Wolf are going to be doing animated Doctor Who with previous Doctors. That would be fantastic, okay? That would be awesome beyond awesome. In the run to the 50th anniversary, a well-known Doctor Who fan site that shall remain nameless posted that all the classic Doctors will be back in the anniversary special. They were, idiot. Do you remember the last scene? It was glorious. They were correct. And I wonder what fan site that was. They were absolutely correct, right? Do you remember that last scene? Doctor to the War Council, Doctor the... It was awesome! Oh, man! It was so good. It's one of my favourite moments. I absolutely loved it. No, sir, all 13. It was freaking all 12, I should say. No, sir, all 12. It was just fantastic, right? So, yeah, that actually happened. One on some aspect, it was actually bang on. Well, the aspect that it was actually bang on, right? It was made up and based on no prior knowledge. Well, that's probably true. Radio Times let the cat out of the bag about Tom Baker's appearance in Day of the Doctor, but generally multi-Doctor rumours turn out to be false. They are, however, the bread and butter of fan speculation. That is true. Listen, fans like multi-Doctor stories. That's why when Whittaker had absolutely destroyed Doctor Who merchandising, they did a multi-Doctor non-Whittaker story to try and bring it back. Unfortunately, the same person who bought you Whittaker, it wasn't the same creator team, it was the same management that brought you Whittaker, bought you that a mess of Time Lord Victorious, which is so sad. Could have been awesome, right? Could have been absolutely awesome. What they should have done for Time Lord Victorious, they should have had 2 free hour-long stories. Have Jacob Dubman narrate them, book on tape, just think about it, and then do a like one of those new like books on tape, these 7-8 hour book on tape. Do a couple of those as well. But you have the free ones, or you can get the expanded thing. It would have been interesting, but all the components of it weren't very good as well. The comic books weren't very good. And how forgettable is it? You know how forgettable? We've all forgotten, right? But yeah, we like multi-Doctors because we like the Doctor, right? Which is probably why we don't like Jodie Whittaker that much. Nothing gets fans more excited than the prospect of a multi-Doctor story, and the press notices. It's why in 2009 a rumour did the rounds in fan circles that Paul McGann was starring alongside David Tennant in a story about Hannibal and the Alps. Well, the reason people want to see Paul McGann because people want to see Paul McGann. He was a great Doctor, right? We love Night of the Doctor. It's so sad that most of his reign we haven't seen it, right? While it sounds like the output feed of the Big Finish story generator, it was false. Recent rumours around past Doctors are circulating once more with regards to the BBC's centenary of the 60th anniversary special. For now, it remains to be seen whether these will turn out to be true or whether they'll go the way of Hannibal. I mean, if they're true, it's probably going to be like in the 50th. It'll be like one scene, right? That's what I would have thought. So that's number 5. Number four of the top 8 rumours that won't die. Doctor Who the movie. Is that still doing the rounds? I thought that. Listen, that might be coming back. Honestly, I find it unlikely because I think cinema is on the way out and streaming is total. This logo, by the way, is from the 90s movie. Go check. I have a video about that. The awesome 90s movie that never was. Who was it? This is not the version. This is one written by Johnny Byrne. There was a version after that was going to be directed by Leonard Nimoy, which is far superior, I think. Doctor Who the movie has been intrinsically linked since the early years of the series, despite there only being 2 official Doctor Who movies in 65 and 66, respectively, rumours of movie projects have continued to dog the show. There was a Tom Baker and Ian Martin's infamous Scratchman project that was famously mooted in development project while the series was off air. Well, it was a real thing, you know. They wanted that to happen. Man, that would have been great. Bit of seaside. I remember, when I was a kid, I was in Margate or some of this English. If you're not from England's seaside towns in the 70s are basically kind of cold, rainy with pebble beaches, but awfully fun. But I remember going to cinema and they had Doctor Who and the Daleks playing on the Saturday morning. This is before I was religious. And then that would have just been a great little movie, Doctor Who meets Scratchman. Michael Jackson was going to play the Doctor movie, as were Donald Sutherland, Eric Idle, Denzel Washington, and many, many more. Lawrence Fishburne was a good one as well. One project that was taken to market at Cannes Film Festival, and Leonard Nimoy was attached to direct another one. That is true. Again, I've done a video about that. More recent, the rumours that Harry Potter, David Yates, in development of Doctor Who movie off the back of a huge popularity of his mid-2000s. And let's not even get started on that K9 movie. I'd never heard about that. None of these projects came to anything, but as Disney and Marvel elbow their way into the cult market, can we expect Doctor Who to make the shift in the opposite direction? Possibly. I just doubt it. I mean, look, Sony looks like they're getting their arse handed to them today with Morbius, which I'm kind of sad like this. It ends their winning streak. And the overwhelming reviews is garbage, but Matt Smith is really quite fun. Right? It's so good for you, Matt Smith. None of these projects are going to do and possibly even with Hugh Grant attached. I doubt that. Who knows? Who knows? What are we up to? We're up to number 3. Fans complain the show's too political. No, it's not too political. And again, this is a straw man argument. A straw man is when they build up a ridiculous argument that's a parody of what you're saying so they can easily knock it down. No, it's not it's too political. It's that it's political over... It's not political, it's ideological. With a very, very divisive ideology that has destroyed the frickin' Western world. We're expecting a famine and nuclear war, right? That's why we weren't so on board for your idiot ideology, right? You're happy with Ukraine, are you? Are you? Well, this is why we have it. This is why we have it, because things like Dr. Bloody Who. And don't pretend that's not what was going on. You wanted to be stunning and brave and re-educate the idiot public from being icky-wicky racist. Because you think everything's about racism, because you're morons, right? You're low-level morons who have done nothing in your life of any merit whatsoever, and you feel like a low-level moron who's done nothing in life of any merit, and you want to feel good about yourself. So you go, oh, I'm going to fight racism. Yeah, look at me, fight the power. Oh, icky white man. Yeah, no, exactly. Don't tell me that didn't happen. We didn't get to this disaster in a context of not being manipulated by the media, by entertainment media and news media. This is part of the entertainment media which has actively sought to manipulate us. And if you're in any confusion about that, you've heard the Disney executive saying, "Well, yes, I'm the mother of 2 LGBTQ plus children." Like she's got a 4-year-old who's pansexual. Every 4-year-old is pansexual, you moron! No 4-year-old is sexual. And I would want to say, as an aside to this grooming thing, that this is the hill that if the COVID hadn't happened, they kept making it. Believe me, they'll have an anti-gay grooming episode, right? And I want to say, if your identity is being muted and like crushed by the inability to sexualize children, then you want to change your sodding identity, you pervert scum, right? That's basically what I want to say to you. Nothing generates clicks and newspaper sales like dredging up the culture war battlefield for contentious opinions and faux outrage. It's real outrage, you cunt. It's real outrage. We love Doctor Who, right? I want you to try and understand that. Everyone's like saying, well, it's only a TV show. No, we love Doctor Who. That's what it is to be a fan. We love Doctor Who, right? It's that simple. Not so freaking complicated. And we don't want to see it used for your disgusting idiot platforms. I did a review of Arachnids in the UK, right? It's gonna a deep going through it in detail. And after I finished recording this, I gotta write the review. I gotta go and get screen grabs for the Sunanga conundrum. Oh, God help me. Right? And they took a whole episode to say Donald Trump is the worstest ever racist, icky, stupid. Excuse me. I can remember everybody having jobs and money and world peace. Idiots! So yes, it's not faux, it's real. We are really genuinely outraged that you use something that we love to destroy the fucking world, moron! And it's actually that real, that big. Yes, you use Doctor Who to help destroy the Western world. You utter morons. Things have only gotten worse with Jodie Whittaker and Chris Chibnall. No, it started when the Common Purpose started shoehorning their agenda, which was in the Capaldi years, right? That's when it really started. It only got worse with Whittaker and Chibnall because they got worse, right? I mean, like, why are you missing that out? Well, that seems to be a reasonably important component of this story. Yeah, that Chibnall Whittaker, it got worse with Chibnall Whittaker because they got worse. I remember when Arachnids in the UK, I was listening to a podcast. I liked it, Staggering Stories, and I was really upset. So I wrote this letter. They said, "Oh, please write into us." So I wrote this letter, and I was like, and they read the beginning of it, and then when I got into my critique of the episode, they said, "Oh, just talking politics," and the end, and they did because they agreed with the politics because they all thought they were right. Well, now we all know you're wrong. Right? We all know you are wrong and you have so much egg on your face you don't even know what to do with yourself, right? We all know you're wrong because you all just thought you were right. And it's not like I'm the one who put politics in Doctor Who. It was Chibnall and Whittaker, because they're morons. Has become the latest battle. Over the past 4 years, there have been headlines in various newspapers. So Doctor Who's viewers rage at unbearable political correctness as another female Doctor is revealed. Well, yes, Doctor Who viewers did rage at the unbearable political correctness as another female Doctor is revealed. It's that we weren't upset the female Doctor, and we're upset that that's all you care about. That's all you guys absolutely care about. Or has Doctor Who become too woke for fans? Yes! Yes! That's why nobody watches it! The Jeremy Vine show in the UK even asks viewers if Doctor Who had become too politically correct. It's just another way that social media heavily informs journalism these days. Excuse me. Social media has been pushing your narrative, this narrative right here. This is just icky wicky people making up silly lies because they're icky wicky. No, you're the liars, mate. You're the liars, not us. At some undisclosed point in recent history, pasting tweeting into an article, pasting tweeting an article became an acceptable news item. The problem is with that the social media is so vast and so diverse. You can literally find anyone who shares your intended narrative, regardless of the truth. Again, who are we talking about? You or me? I think we're talking about you, aren't we? I think we're talking about you. And that's why you guys scream so loudly about everything. You know, trans women are women! Trans women are women! The more loudly you scream, more Black Lives Matter, more loudly you scream. And by the way, I want to be very clear. Every lives matter regardless of your skin color, right? And the idea that you have to say Black Lives Matter because they want you to support this racist organization, this racist socialist organization that is Black Lives Matter, unfortunately. However, it is also true that Black Lives do matter, obviously. And it's so ridiculous. I got to stop him and give that little explanation. Regardless of the truth. Case in point, The Guardian, who back in 2010 he said that rather than being too woke, Doctor Who fans are more offensive than ever. No, they're more offensive than ever. You are more offensive than ever. There was a group called Not My Doctor. Remember that existed to monitor the communications of Doctor Who fans for anybody who didn't fit into the groupthink, and then put them through their idiot little struggle sessions, right? The only trouble was there were a bunch of moron children giggling at themselves, and they didn't realise they didn't matter until they found out the guy in charge of them, this guy Tom in charge who set it up, was also a pervert, right? A sex pest pervert, as they all turn out to be, don't they? As long as the cultural tribalism continues to dominate our discourse, you can expect the too political story to continue long into RTD's comeback here. No, I think what the back of this insanity that has taken over the world is about to be broken. And I think, again, I'm a super religious guy. I think the function of the insanity that we're seeing in the world and the destruction that we see in the world is mirrored by the 10 plagues in Egypt. What's the function of the 10 plagues in Egypt? It was completely to destroy the Egyptian worldview, which was called primarchy, which is like basically it's a pyramid, right? There's always somebody above you, right? Somebody above you, and being on top is the only thing that matters, right? So which is antithetical to Judeo-Christian philosophy, right? So that was the reason these disasters are happening. If God exists, in my worldview, if God exists, is to destroy this insane worldview, right? So I don't think this too political argument is going to continue, because I don't think this culture is going to continue. Number 2, the show's about to get exterminated. Well, Matt Strevers and Chris Chibnall did say that, right? Do you not remember? They said they couldn't find somebody to give the show to. That's why they announced they're leaving. Not live, in a way that people couldn't comment, remember, and not during their crappy Comic-Con thing that wasn't live, but as a press release, because they couldn't find somebody to replace them, and they didn't even know about Russell T Davies till the day before it was announced, right? The shadow cast by the 1985 hiatus is a long one. Despite the show coming back bigger and more popular than ever before in 2005, fans are still anxious that the X-Men series would be flash in the pan. Well, I think most people were, right? But it was huge. like the McGann movie. How wrong they were. Well, we were wrong until Jodie Whittaker showed up, and it imploded. Right? Did you not see the ratings? Oh no, people consume media. No, people consume media exactly the freaking same. They just hate crap. Right? They hate your moronic crap. But despite the popularity of the show still being on air 17 years after Rose aired, it's not as popular as it was. 2 million. You got the lowest rated ever for your holiday special. 2 million live viewers compared to the previous low, which was, in the classic low, which was 3.2 for Battlefield episode 1 or 2, I think. I think episode 1. Right? I mean, Battlefield just blew it away. I'm sorry. Oh, people consume media differently nowadays. But, well, no, we had VCRs back then. We had video recorders. People recorded things and watched them later. Right? And that was, they tried to find ways of incorporating that into the ratings, and they failed. There was 17 years later, it feels constantly at risk. No, it's only in the recent years. There was a suggestion that BBC stopped Doctor Who when David Tennant and RTD left. Well, that was from the BBC. Each drop in explicitly UK rating suggests that Doctor Who is circling around the drain. Well, excuse me. What about the US ratings, which is fallen off a cliff? You get under what? Most YouTube channels, like a bigger YouTube channel, gets more ratings than Whittaker's Doctor Who. In the US. It is circling around the drain. Chris Chibnall couldn't find somebody to take it over. It was going to be cancelled if it wasn't for Russ Lee Davies. Okay, this is not like we just saw it. We were there 6 months ago, right? And yet, all the signals are much larger. Despite the low ratings, the series screens all over the world these days. It's a global brand. The series isn't going anywhere anytime soon. Yes, it was, you moron. It was about to. If they couldn't find somebody to make it, you can't make it. That's really quite important. I think it probably would have been rested for a few years. I think they would have needed to bring it back. But that doesn't stop the tabloids and the Fran press exacerbating the wounds of the late 80s. Each delay between the series is an indicator of the series in decline, rather than an example of the intricacies of television production. Logic and reason goes out the window. No, dude, you're hiding behind things. You're hiding. You're hiding because you don't want to have failed, right? You're totally hiding. The anxiety that the TARDIS may dematerialize, never to return. That was going to happen. I'm sorry. They didn't have anybody to hand over to. Number story that won't die. David Tennant to come back. It seems to be a believable one, right? If you need to fix the damage done to Doctor Who, which you do not want to admit happens, if you want to fix that damage, you need to do something like this, right? David Tennant is the millennial Tom Baker. I guess true. The 10th Doctor was an iconic incarnation. The Doctor to a whole generation of kids now grown up into nostalgic fans, nostalgic adults. That's very true. I always say the first thing that you encounter, the first way you encounter something is the way you love it most. This is the way a lot of new people came to Doctor Who, so they love him the most, right? As well as being one of the nicest men and terrific in-demand actor, Tennant is a Doctor Who fan. It's why he returned for the 50th anniversary and continues to do Big Finish. Yeah, none of this seems crazy to anyone, right? Tennant is such a big deal for people that these licensed audio adventures are often reported on certain... reported on in certain corners of press, and they're branded as new TV episodes of the show. Most recently, Tennant has been rumoured to be both the 14th Doctor and returning 10th Doctor. It will be a huge surprise if he did indeed return for 60th. It wouldn't be a huge surprise if he returned for 60th. We agree. Much as the millennial Tom Baker, he's a millennial Tom Baker is a millennial Patrick Troughton, an actor who was always keen to return to role. Yeah, that's okay. That's fair. Dude. You're getting your fan cred back now. You're talking sense. Once you get off Jodie, you're so much more set, right? David Whittaker returned to the stories. The Doctor Who equivalent of those nostalgic newspaper headlines that trumpet some return to old-fashioned ideals or some perceived golden age. No, the Golden Age was prior to Whittaker, right? Golden Age was honestly, the Golden Age in terms of media, I think probably 2010 to 2015. Freaking Golden Age, absolute Golden Age. Golden Age Doctor Who was Russell T Davies years, and I think Tennant and Matt Smith. That was an absolute Golden Age for Doctor Who. The David Tennant return, Golden Age. When an 80s Tom Baker returned for the role for the Doctor in for the Shada reconstruction, it made news and it was glorious, right? Him turning up at the end. If you haven't seen it, it's absolutely glorious. I loved every minute of that. It'll be the same when a 93-year-old David Tennant returns to Doctor Who's 100th anniversary. You're probably correct. You are probably correct there. That I cannot argue. So there you go. There you go. Bit of a rumor patrol. Yeah. All rumors are more, and they're all fun. We love rumors. You know, that's part of being a fan. Why do we love rumors? Because we love Doctor Who. I mean, that's really the bottom line. We love Doctor Who. So there you go. I went through all the rumors, and I'm still in a reasonably good mood. Sun's still shining. I looked out the window. Sun's still shining. Birds are still cheeping. Blossom is still on the trees, and it smells gorgeous outside. All the flowers. Oh, feels so nice. So my name is Zena Beck, I'm wishing you a freaking awesome weekend. Go outside. I hope the weather's good for you. Go outside. Go have a drink. Go have some fun with friends. Enjoy the joys of spring. That's what I will say. And have yourselves an awesome weekend. My name's Zena Beck, the Rabbi from Another Planet. Like, share, subscribe, ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. And as I said, have yourself a freaking awesome weekend.
Yeah!